Right, the question is today, what is in the box? As you can see, it's had the lock broken off it. I do actually have the lock, I've just never got around to putting it back on. But I suppose I'm not really a joiner. There you are. That's a nice old French Cornet. Or is it a Cornet or is it a Cornopean? You can see here, that's the lead pipe where my thumb is. That's the bell pipe. And there's the valves. It's not a left-handed instrument. It just sort of like looks like it's in between a cornet and a cornopean to me. It's made by a maker called Royet in Toulouse, obviously in France then. But to be honest, other than that, I don't know a right lot around about it. I actually bought the instrument as spares because there's a lot of old brass there, some these fancy crooks, a few shanks, a couple of good old mouthpieces, or gob irons, they're actually not too bad, a lyre box even in its place, and a lyre, which is unusual. I think what had happened was it actually bought it off an auction. It had gone in as a lot locked up, and they'd actually screwdrivered the box open, the case open, to have a look and see what was inside it, hence why the lock was in the box. Afterwards I paid scrap value for it, looked at it, thought it was a bit different, so I thought I'll put it back together again. So I did, and I've got a few videos of it playing. It's quite an interesting instrument really to play. It takes quite a bit of effort to play it really. Obviously it's a little bit leaky. The valves leave a lot to be desired, and they need a damn good shove to actually get them to go down. But it does play. I don't think the intonation in the instrument is that brilliant as well. It's quite an effort to try and hold it in tune. Most of the time it's not in tune with itself. Could be me really. I shouldn't really be using the instrument as an excuse. But it does take a lot of concentration to play. It takes a lot of wind through the instrument to support it. In other words, like if you don't put the wind through it, it kind of dies and goes flat very quickly. So anyway, that's about it. If you've got any comments, leave them below. I've got a few more old instruments kicking around the house. I keep adding to the collection every few months when I see something a little bit different that's cheap and mangled and a mess, and something that's going to keep me occupied for a few weeks getting it put back together and getting it playing. Anyway, let's see what it plays like then, shall we? Right, let's see what it can do. other interesting thing about this instrument is, I don't know if you can just see there, right, the tip of my thumbnail. I'm trying to get it in focus on my camera phone. On the valve, that line running down there is actually a seam. These valve casings haven't really been turned, well, it doesn't look like they've been turned on a lathe. It looks more like they've been one sheet of brass that's been rolled and then soldered together. It's the same all the way down the valve case with these bands that have been soldered on afterwards. The valve's very crude arrangement. It's just got a little locator peg on it somewhere. Trying to do this with one hand is a bit of a nightmare while I'm videoing it with the other. It's got a locator peg on the valve. I'll just hold it between my knees for a moment. As you can see, where is it now? Ugh, they're so old. They are, just a little locator peg there near my little finger. And the valve spring is situated at the bottom of the valve, like the old boozers and that. Like I did say, the valves are, I have cleaned them, given them a little bit of a polish. The springs are exceptionally heavy on the instrument as well. I don't think if they were as heavy as they are that the actual things would return, because yeah, they ain't exactly the best of fits. It's been bashed about a little bit, but the thing with the instrument is I don't have an idea of how old it is. To me, it could be one of the instruments that was sort of the development of the modern cornet. So it could be before sort of Anthony Courtois put the instrument together and sort of claimed it as the shepherd's crook cornet with the Koenig's model. But whoever built this instrument, he sort of had pretty much most of the key factors of the cornet. He just got the valve block in the wrong place. It's interesting to see what the instrument sounds like. Obviously, I was quite interested when I saw it was something a bit different. I wanted to hear what it sounded like, wanted to see what it plays like. Technically wise, it takes a lot of balls to try and play something technical on this instrument, because it isn't the most easiest of instruments to play. It's just a little bit of curiosity in the collection that I've got, and I'm always on the lookout for new ones, well, new old ones to rebuild. The case is pretty much all original. I've just got this foam padding in the bottom just to stop it rattling around. As you can see in the bottom where the actual lining's rubbed off, it's like more or less a thick paper or cardboard that this is made out of down the side to stop all the crooks and shanks falling out into that, with a little bit of wood with some holes drilled in on top. It's like a very thin, I wouldn't say it's material, it is more like paper. The bottom feels like material, and it's all stuffed with horsehair padding at the bottom and some lovely horsehair padding at the top that's still really nice and springy. Well, I think I've totally destroyed my lip tonight trying to play that instrument. As you can tell in the video clips, I've tried to play it on all the different crooks and shanks, which it's a bit awkward trying to pitch, because to be quite frank, I'm not quite the musician that I used to be, and I was never any good with chords and keys and whatever it is, so I don't really know what key it plays in. I wouldn't like to play the instrument in a band because it struggles to keep in tune with itself, or I struggle to keep it in tune with itself a lot of the time. It's just an interesting instrument to have in the collection, very curious. It could be a lot older than the Courtois that I've got. It could be a bit newer, but whatever it is, it certainly shows the development of the cornet. It'd be nice to have a Cornopean. I've not got one of them. I'm still looking for one. They're either too expensive or too far gone beyond repair, but you never know, one day I might find one. That's probably the closest I've got to a Cornopean. Anyway, if you've got any comments, if there's anything you want me to have a go at playing on one of these old instruments, be realistic. You know, they don't play like your Besson Sovereign or your Smith Watkins or Vinnie Back or anything like that. You're concentrating a lot on actually just trying to make it sound nice and sort of keep it in the right key half the time. So it doesn't leave you a lot of brain cell use to try and get the damn thing to play something technical like the Carnival of Venice. So anyway, that's about it for this evening. Any comments or any suggestions, or if you've got a Royet instrument at home, just let me know about it. If you have an idea of how old it is, let me know. I've found nothing out about this instrument, and it'd be interesting to know what it is, see if I can get a bit of history on it. Anyway, take care. I'll see if I can get another video on here in the next week or so. Good night.